Welcome to Mission Over Mood, the podcast where purpose leads and feelings follow. I'm your host, Kay, and each week I sit down with artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people on a mission. Around here, we talk about discipline over doubt, passion with a purpose, and why showing up matters more than feeling ready. Let's get into it. Okay, today, guys, we have a special guest on our podcast. She goes by the name of
Precious K.
Okay. And today we will be getting into a few things about her personal life, her growth, and different things she experienced within her life. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, so Precious K, tell us a little bit about what your childhood was like.
My childhood was growing up without a mom
Mm-hmm.
and a father
Mm-hmm.
for 7 years. My grandfather raised both me and my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
He took ill
Mm.
and he didn't want my step grandma to take care of us because she made a difference between us and her kids.
Right.
And so he called my mom's twin. My mom had a twin.
Oh, okay. Twins were in your family?
They pretty much.
Okay.
And they were fraternal twins, not identical.
Okay.
And
Right.
she raised both me and my siblings. And plus she had 4 children of her own that she
Wow.
raised.
So she had it was eight people in one household.
Yes.
Oh wow, oh wow. How did y'all handle that type of wasn't that pretty challenging for you guys to be basically 10 of you guys in the household?
Yes, it was definitely was a challenge for her
Mm-hmm.
and us as well. We was removed from Memphis, Tennessee, our hometown.
Okay. Okay.
And she lived in Chicago, Illinois. She brought us to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just different
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know nothing about snow and ice and
Oh
stuff.
wow. It didn't snow in Memphis, Tennessee?
Nah,
Wow.
we
Wow.
didn't have to deal with that.
Wow.
And it was just quite different.
Mm-hmm.
The way things was ran,
Mm-hmm.
how they was done. She had a husband
Mm-hmm.
that she had to make a choice. Is she gonna get us?
Mm-hmm.
And if she get us,
Mm-hmm.
he would quit his job.
What would make him say that? Why did he want to quit his job? I mean, I think it'd be more helpful to help, your wife at the time take care of all those kids. That was a big responsibility on one person.
Yes, but she came through. She made it happen. And the reason why he said he would leave his job if she get him, because he had to raise her 4, and he had 10 of his own.
Really?
And that was a bit much for him as a man.
Gotcha. Right.
But he
That
still
would've been
helped her
18.
with us no matter what, and ended up loving us and
Mm-hmm.
helping her with us all the time. Even though he did quit his job, became an alcoholic.
Really?
It was abusive.
Oh, wow.
And
So
we
you
had to
got-
leave quite a few times because he was so abusive
Mm-hmm.
to her.
Wow. Did you guys experience any of that trauma or abuse from him, or it was just witnessing that, seeing your aunt go through that caused you guys to kind of feel traumatized by the experience?
It was watching her go through it
Right.
because we would fear that she was going to lose us to the system if he was to kill her or hurt her real bad.
Right. So that put you guys in a compromising situation of, man, I'm just leaving Memphis. Did you say it was Memphis, right?
Yes.
I'm leaving Memphis. I'm in a new household, a new environment. Probably a couple of months or years pass by, I reckon. And you start to see these patterns with him. And that kind of put you guys like, man, if I have to go to strangers, then we will be separated as siblings. You mentioned that you had siblings. How many siblings did you have?
I had 3.
Mm-hmm.
But as of now, I only have 1 left.
Wow.
My eldest sister passed away at age 44.
Wow, okay.
We don't know what happened. We always on the phone
Mm-hmm.
till like midnight
Mm-hmm.
or midnight 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock I get a call from my aunt and said that she was my sister was rushed to the hospital.
Mhm.
Once she went to the hospital, she stayed in there until she passed.
Wow.
She was in there. She went in November.
Mhm.
This happened 2029. I mean 2009. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay.
2009,
Mhm.
and her and my sister that's still is a survivor
Right.
with me, which is the baby girl of the family.
Mhm.
I had one eldest brother. We only had one brother.
Wow.
So it was
okay.
3 girls.
Mhm.
And they had just made men's. They hadn't talked for a couple of years.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it just seemed like my sister was at peace, that her and her sister recommended, got things back together,
Mhm.
back on track. And it just seemed like she was ready to go
Mhm.
at that point.
Do you feel like you were a part of any of that, bringing your family together, to make peace?
I did.
Okay.
I did that. I talked with my little sister. I said, hey, you can't go on like this, because
That's
if
right.
something happened to her one day,
Mhm.
or vice versa, something happened to you, either one of you, or you won't be able to live with yourselves.
Right. Right. Mhm.
You'd be like, oh, I could have just made up with her, and you won't get a chance to do that.
That's right.
And that's how they end up talking that particular night.
Mhm. So in this instance, I feel like you let your purpose lead rather than your feelings in that time and space. Your purpose was to bring you guys together before anything happens that you knew would have been a challenge for your sibling, and also you witnessing that.
Yes.
Gotcha. I did want to kind of get into relationships, because you mentioned to me that you were exposed to experiences with your aunt, and I'm sure probably other family members, because I mean we've all been there. But how has that shaped you in the way that you think relationships are going with the youth and just in general nowadays? Like, how do you view relationships with people?
I at one time, before I matured and realized how life goes with relationships, my aunt, watching her relationship, as well as aunts and uncles in Memphis,
Right.
the women,
Mm-hmm.
they allow so much out for the men.
I see that a lot in women nowadays. They just take too much.
Yes, they, so in essence, me growing up in relationships and stuff, I followed that pattern.
Mm.
Accepting things that I didn't have to accept.
Right.
But during the time, I didn't know better. I thought that's the way I'm supposed to do it, because I'm only going by what I see.
Exactly. Right.
So, as you get older, wisdom comes along with it.
That's true.
And I've accepted some things I should not have accepted in relationships.
I think we all been there. Yeah, that's true.
And I try to instill in my girls, I was so hard on my girls, like, don't be like me,
Right.
Don't be accepting, know your worth. I didn't know my worth.
That's
I
right.
didn't know nothing about worth.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just learning about worth in my early 40s, late 30s.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was taught by a real great friend, Damani.
Oh wow. Okay.
His name
Was
is
this a
Damani.
male? Oh, okay. This was a male. Okay.
In Chicago, he told me he was going to teach me my worth, because I don't know what my worth is, and I settle for too much stuff
Right.
that I don't have to settle for, because I'm a
Exactly.
very independent woman.
Right.
Work hard, dedicated. I've always been up for my kids. There's times I went without to make sure my kids had. But we managed. It was hard. It was a struggle. But the struggle is real. And
Right,
it was worth it, because it taught me to be stronger.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes we go through things and it just teach us. It put us on a different path and teach us how to be You know, sometimes later in life we grow into us because, like you said, if you don't know or you've been stricken with this generational curse of seeing things, you know, it's kind of hard to gauge how you should do things, what you should do, because you're battling what you've seen in the past versus what it could be on a better side, you know, and you're like, man, this is what I've seen, this is what I know, but I could do it this way and it can be better or come out differently for, you know, my outcome.
And can I just
Yeah,
say
go
this,
ahead.
ma'am?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In raising my kids,
Mm-hmm.
I realized where I made my mistakes at.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I was thinking the way I was doing it was the right way.
Right, right.
And when raising kids, and I try to teach my kids this as well,
Mm-hmm.
including my son,
Right.
that it's not a book written on raising kids. All we can do is figure it out. We have to figure out what's best for this individual, what's best for this, because
Mm-hmm.
the personalities are different, and clash is different.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, even with my generation, my parents' generation, if it's more than one child,
Mm-hmm.
the children always feel like the other one get treated better.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is when you're growing up and
Mm-hmm.
learning how to raise children, you just try to figure out what works for that child.
Right.
Whereas
right.
one child, a whooping or just hollering at them, you ain't got to whoop them. You just holler at them or raise your voice a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They get in line.
Right, right.
But then the next child,
Mm-hmm.
you probably have to spank them
Right.
or put them on time out or something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they'll get it if you take something from them
Right.
that
Okay.
they like.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other child, you just can raise your voice and
Right,
they,
right.
they'll cry, but they'll get themselves together.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whereas this generation,
Ooh, don't
this
even talk about this
this generation is off the chain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
part of it comes from society.
Yeah, I can agree.
Society taught them that it's okay to report your parents to us,
Right. Yep.
and we'll deal with your parents. If they touch you, let us know.
Right. Right.
And the kids took advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
They became very disrespectful.
Yes.
They
yes.
have no respect for the
Not
law.
even authority. Yep. I was just about to say
They
that.
have
Yep.
no respect for any elders.
Yep.
The respect is non-elite. It's like it never existed.
Right. Yeah. I think part of it is because they took some of the morale out of everyday life, which is religion. You know, because over time we've seen that there's so many categories of religions. You know, it's not just about church. You know, you got Muslims, you got Buddhists, you got
Jehovah's
so many
Witnesses.
different people, Jehovah Witnesses, and it just they tried to make it like a non-religious society, which really messed everything up, because now these kids don't have like a conscience of, oh my God, God might see me, or God, you know, is watching. They don't care, you know, that anybody, that they could suffer any consequences outside of society telling them, hey, report everything to me. And, you know, it's gotten so bad where instead of people helping someone, they see them getting beat up or they see them get into a car accident, they'll pull out their phones and start recording. They don't even call the police. They just pull out their phones. Like, where is your moral compass? Like, call the police. You know?
Absolutely.
It's just, that's just heartbreaking that they're really setting our kids up for a disaster.
Absolutely.
And then you think about, I don't know if you thought of this, but you think about, man, how is it going to look for me when I can't do for myself? You know? So,
And one thing I like to add is our parents,
mm-hmm,
when I was coming up,
mm-hmm.
they used to always try to make us feel like they was just great kids. Like
Right.
they
yeah.
didn't do stuff. They was so obedient.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, why was you all having babies at such a young age?
Right, right.
So the stuff that's going on today is a recycle, actually.
Yes.
But the kids are just more bold
Right.
and more verbal
Mm-hmm.
than doing their time or our time.
Mm-hmm.
We just found a way to do it differently.
Right, right.
You know.
Not so disrespectful, just straight out bold in front of your parents. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then these kids today, they kill their parents over dumb stuff.
Man.
Oh, because they took the PS5 from them
Yeah,
for a month.
yeah, I've seen stories about
Or they
that.
took their cell phone for a couple of days.
Yep.
They'll literally take their parents' life and go drug driving and everything.
Yeah,
Like they ain't did
like nothing happened.
It's scary out here.
Can't trust. It's like almost you can trust a stranger more than you can trust your own kid. Or extended family member than your own kid, because these kids are just so against. It's almost like they're against doing the right thing. Anything you say, do the right thing, it's like total opposite. They don't want to do nothing what you're telling them.
Very defiant.
Yeah.
Very defiant.
At young ages.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say I got a grandbaby. 1-year-old grandbaby.
Wow. Okay.
Very intelligent.
Mm-hmm. Do you only have one grandchild, or?
I have 2 and 1 on the way.
Oh, really? Congratulations! Congratulations!
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I just want to give you your congratulations on that, because not a lot of people are seeing an age of becoming a grandmother. So that's phenomenal right there. You're building your legacy.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's the third generation from you. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What I do know is this world.
Mm-hmm.
We need a change real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real fast, because we losing our kids, man.
Younger. And
we losing them to so much
Man.
foolishness, unnecessary foolishness.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. If you look at a person, you just look at them, you might get shot. You don't know.
Yeah.
I was looking at the news a few days ago, and the guy said he just driving like normal, listen to his little radio, driving home from work or whatever. And 2 young boys one of them took out the gun on the passenger side, started shooting at him. Just shooting.
Oh my goodness! What?
They didn't know him from Adam, nothing.
That's crazy.
And so out here is no form of feeling safe under no circumstance.
Yep.
Even in your car.
And even if you have a gun, it's like, did I pull the trigger at the wrong time? Now you're facing charges for pulling the trigger and someone was trying to attack you. So it's like no win with the situation. Why even have a gun?
Absolutely.
It's just like, you got to be so tedious as to when you can use it and all it is. But if I feel that my life is in danger and someone is coming to attack me, what am I supposed to do but defend myself? Even I've noticed that they changed the dynamics in schools with that. If you fight back, you're still at fault. Like, how is that something that's even permissible in this world? You should be able to defend yourself if someone is attacking you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was I've experienced that myself. So where and when did your mission begin? When did you know that God put you on a mission in life?
I've been on a mission with God since I was a little girl. I would say since I was about 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. Wow, okay.
I knew God was using me.
Gotcha.
Because I'm a person that helps any and everybody. Even if they do me wrong or disrespect me, I'm still supportive as well-being as I could be.
Right.
Humanly I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people say, I don't see how you do it. I won't put up with this. I won't do this and that. But how I do it, because God got my back.
That's right.
And I look at myself in the place of Job. Because I'd have been on a lot of tests.
Yeah.
A lot of tests.
Yeah.
That
was a very challenging book in the Bible, Job.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
I've been a lot of I almost lost my eyesight. I had a lot of challenges in my life.
Wow.
But I still accepted what God wanted me to do, my journey. And I'm still on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to stop until God tells me it's time for me to rest.
That's right.
Whether it's in death or whether it's just He takes stuff away from
right,
my presence.
Because God will remove stuff from you. If it no longer serves you, He'll remove it from you.
Yes, He does.
So, you know what? That's true. I just me saying that, I just feel like, you know what? We feel like, oh, I can't deal with this situation. I can't deal with this. But I'm going to tell you something. You saying you can't deal with it, but God know you can deal with it. That's why the situation's still going on. Because if He feels like it's something that you're not going to be able to deal with now or in the future, He will remove it out your life. And sometimes it may hurt you. Sometimes you may not understand. Sometimes it may look like it's like, oh my God, why did that happen? You know, but he will remove situations that just He see that it's not going to be fit for your life. You know.
And this is what I would like to let the world know.
Mm-hmm.
Stop blaming God for everything.
Ooh, say that. Yes.
Everything not on God.
That's right. Yeah.
Satan is the God of this system of things.
That's true. Yeah.
Why y'all don't fire at him?
That's what, you know what? I never thought about it like that.
That's who's running this system.
Wow.
God gave this particular earth to Satan.
Wow.
So when people die, stop saying, why God took my mom? Why God took my child? God ain't took nothing. He don't give life and take it back.
Wow. Okay.
That's why He gave His Son life. He gave His Son, let His Son's life be taken for to forgive us for our sins that we made.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the only individual whose life He allowed to be taken.
And He allowed it. He didn't take it. He allowed it.
He allowed it, and He set it up that way.
Okay.
He had Him born in human form out of the spirit realm to come down here as a human.
Right.
To go through that when you get to a certain age.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was planned.
I never thought about it like that. Wow. That's true. I always wondered, because I've been a victim of doing that. God, why did you do this? Why did you do that? But I never thought about, why are we not blaming Satan? He is the one. He's the catalyst.
He's the corporate.
All of this. Yeah. You know, anything that you experience, I'm not going to say everything, but a lot of things that you experience in despair, Satan was behind it. You know, he make a petition to God every day about you. That's why you must pray against his petition that he go to God with. Because what people don't fail to realize, Satan got to go through God for whatever he do to you. Just like in the story of Job that you mentioned, he went to God about that. God gave him permission, you know. And so when you pray, and I feel like you should pray to God against Satan's petition against you every day, because he'll try something. Don't he use the people closest to you?
Yes, he do. Yes, he do. He also Satan allowed good things to happen too.
Okay.
Let's not think that every child is from God.
Wow. Okay.
Every child is not from God, married or not.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because if you a servant of Satan, which a lot of people don't recognize, they are servants of Satan.
Right. Yeah.
Satan will bless you with a baby.
Wow. Okay.
He will do that, and he'll let some of them grow up and put you through purity hell.
Man.
Then he'll let some of them grow up and die at a young age.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true. Wow.
So,
wow.
Stop thinking, oh, well, God let this person have a baby, but I can't have one. I've been trying for years, even on the, whether it's a woman saying it or the man.
Right.
Stop blaming God.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
If you doing what God asked you to do, you being respectful and showing him appreciation for your life, God will always have your back.
Right.
He will always satisfy your needs and your wants.
Who's to say that you're not able to conceive at that moment, right? That's not God telling you that's not the moment that I need you to conceive in.
Absolutely.
Because he comes in our darkest hour for stuff. You know, we think our life going good. We got this, we got that. Why I ain't got the only thing I don't got is a baby. Okay? You're not in your darkest hour. He gonna come and bless you when you in your darkest hour. Right when you least expect, right when you think life can't get no worse. That's when you're gonna receive the blessings you asked him for.
I can testify with that.
Yeah.
Because just when I'm thinking, I was staying on MacArthur here in Texas. and I had lost my job because they lost the site. I do security.
Okay, gotcha.
And I got behind 2 months in my rent.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. This is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
For Almighty, the grand creator of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Wow. Okay.
I did. I was doing Uber, Lyft, doing whatever I could do to try to bring some more income in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And one day, I have a girlfriend. Not girlfriend like girlfriend.
Right, yeah.
But you know how we say girlfriend?
Yeah, like the show Girlfriends, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she called me one day, and she said, Precious, you okay? Because God told me I need to call you.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, girl, I'm all right. Knowing I wasn't all right.
Right.
I was so distraught because I didn't know what I was going to do, and I got 3 kids, and we got to survive, you know.
Right.
I ain't had no help. At the time, I ain't had no man or nothing like that, you know.
Right.
I ain't got a divorce.
Mm.
You know, I've been
Okay.
divorced 3 times.
Wow.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Because once I started learning my worth, I've been on the road.
Right. That's right.
So
As you should. Come on,
she
girl.
called me. She stayed in Oklahoma. She used to stay here in Texas, and she moved back to her hometown, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me and said, God told me you need me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing I needed her.
Right.
She said, well, I'm telling you something. I will be there in 2 hours.
Mm.
I got to help you because God told me I got to help you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you was battling your pride.
I reckon so.
Okay.
So